My friends, how are y'all doing out there today? I hope that you're doing well. You know, I haven't always been that heavily involved in politics. I've always known what my political views were, but I never felt like it really mattered to talk about it too much until recently. You see, after the last time Donald Trump was in the White House, I watched as people's jobs got destroyed, their 401ks, their savings, their entire livelihoods, the economy left in shambles. People's rights attempted to be taken away. And I watched as next time Donald Trump ran for president, people lined up to vote for that to happen to them again. Donald Trump won. I mean, let me say that the right way before I start conspiracy theories on the internet. Donald Trump lost that next election to Joe Biden, and I thought we maybe got it out of our system. And then here comes Donald Trump again, trying to avoid going to prison, and you see that people lined up once again for this time Donald Trump's incredibly fascist vision for what America should be. He stood on stage and he openly talked about how he was going to take away people's rights, how he was going to cost people their jobs, how he was going to make the economy worse because he came to this conclusion, I guess, that putting tariffs on everybody was the save to the economy. It was the strangest thing that I've ever seen. And now we are in a situation where Donald Trump has actively been working towards ruining the livelihoods of millions of Americans. Definitely rights are being stripped away from people. He is trying to sign away our Constitution through executive order. And I started to really pay attention to this, of course, over the last 6 months I have, but it was during the last Donald Trump presidency that I started to really try to figure out, to understand what it is that's going on in the world. And my friends, through the scientific research I have been working on through all these years, through all my collecting of data and understanding human behavior, I am able to comfortably say, without a doubt, that Trump supporters are the dumbest sons of bitches that have ever existed on this planet. We are living through the stupidest fucking timeline that has ever existed. And I know, some people are mad at me right now. They're going, Josh, we have told you over and over that you have to be nice if you expect them to come to our side. After watching the judgment calls that these people make and the things that they consider to be good news, I don't necessarily want them on my side. I can't say that I trust them. So my friends, we are going to talk about everything that's going on today and how absolutely shocking it is that there are still people that are defending Donald Trump, that are supporting Donald Trump and acting straight up fucking cultish when it comes to Donald Trump. Because when you look at what he does compared to the mystique around him and what an angelic, amazing man he is, these are two different fucking things, because what he does is incredibly destructive. If you were to look at what he does, you would say this man may be fucking Satan himself, and then you have these people that think what he's doing is amazing. So I want to look into the mind of Trump supporters today, as we together are going to end up at the same conclusion. These are some dumb sons of bitches, my friends. So let's look at first, Donald Trump is absolutely fucking obliterating the economy right now. It is one of the most destructive, self-inflicted things I have ever seen in my life. This destruction is just incredibly, it's impressive. I mean, I'll give you that. It's impressive to watch one man pull the strings on the whole world's economy all at one time. I don't know how the country allowed one man to do this, and I certainly don't understand how the world allowed one man to do this. But the good news for the rest of the world is they're obviously making good decisions and all making other trading partners, making deals with other countries, and they'll just eventually cut America out of the equation, which is the opposite of winning, my friends. That's the opposite of winning. So we've seen Donald Trump go on for years, 40 fucking years, about how tariffs are the solution to everything, right? And then he goes and he implements the shit, and we find out that it's incredibly destructive. But we all knew that, right? This is the thing that everybody's been saying the entire time that Donald Trump has talked about tariffs, about how we're going to pay the tariff. It's not going to bring manufacturing back to America for literally $1 million reasons. I could rattle off a whole list to you guys. You guys know the list, but Trump supporters don't. They don't know the list. They have no idea what it takes to actually bring manufacturing back to America. And apparently they don't understand that the end result is much higher prices already. So with this Walmart thing, right? Walmart is saying, hey, we're not going to foot the bill on the tariffs. That's fucking insane. 30% tariffs, and only in America, my friends, only in Donald Trump's America. Could we spend years bitching about how Joe Biden ruined everything, apparently, which doesn't make any sense because Joe Biden inherited the economy that Donald Trump fucking trashed the last time, spent years and years working on solutions, and by the time Joe Biden left office, by every possible metric, the United States economy was doing good. There were things that could still keep improving, but compared to every other country that had to dig out of their pandemic hole, we were the best. And that's all there is to it. There may be a metric here and there where a country maybe was excelling, but by and far, America was absolutely doing very, very fucking well. And that is the way that Donald Trump works, right? He doesn't take any personal responsibility. I don't know how we have a 80-year-old man that doesn't take any personal responsibility. I understand how we get them because he's a fucking spoiled brat that never had to take any responsibility. But the American people, that all his dumb decisions rest on our shoulders, also allow him to take no responsibility for the bullshit that he does. So after the 145% tariffs, fucking where the supply chain got completely broken, which isn't quite fixed yet, we're going to see the actual shortages on the store shelves here within a couple months. No, within a couple weeks is what I meant to say, sorry. And then the supply chain was so broken down that everybody went and bought when all the retailers went and bought when Donald Trump lowered things to 30%, which is going to cause this huge inflation, I think that's the word I'm looking for, of freight, when that gets over here to the port. Sorry, these are unscripted. I just talk and hope for the best. Shit. Anyways, and I think that part's gonna fuck us, right? I think that's gonna fuck us because that's what the truckers and the dock workers are going to remember. Remember when we had so much fucking freight that couple months where we were so busy under Donald Trump? That's because he's a goddamn genius. That's why, right? But we all know that the 30% tariffs are still way too fucking much. And it's only in Donald Trump's America where people that are adamant that they hate paying taxes, all these things that they hate, can get a 30% tax slapped on them. Nothing they can do, and they go, fuck yeah, Donald Trump is fucking winning. That's what he's doing. He's fucking winning, and he's not winning. He just fucked us all with a 30% tax added to every one of us. So we'll see huge increase in freight coming in for a while, and then as Americans realize with a 30% tariff we still can't afford jack shit, we're going to see that continue to break down. Donald Trump either abandons his tariffs at that point, doubles down on his tariffs at that point. Either way, Donald Trump goes and plays golf while you fucking peasants, which includes me, struggle to figure out how to put food on the table at that point. But we want to get more into the shit that's going on with Trump supporters and how they continue to fall for this absolute bullshit. I want to start with the farmers, all right? I've talked about the farmers before, but we know that in the first Trump administration, the farmers had to be bailed out with a lot of fucking money because Donald Trump had bankrupted their asses through his tariffs the first time around when China stopped buying their product. So then they line up to go vote for the son of a bitch again. And from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but when the farmer bailout was being voted on, I heard, I should have checked this. I agree. Those of you that are mad at me right now, I should have checked this before I recorded this video. But correct me if I'm wrong. It's okay. I was told many times that Kamala Harris actually cast the deciding vote to make sure that those farmers got their checks, or maybe it was the stimulus checks that we were all so happy about. Either way, it was actually a Democrat that came through and made sure that Americans needed what they had by casting the deciding vote. So move to today. You've got every fucking day, you've got another farmer TikTok out there where he's talking about how he's going bankrupt because he can't sell his product because of Trump's tariffs. Some of them even beg for money. They say, hey, if you guys, my viewers, don't mind, which, like, farming content is good content. People watch the shit out of that. I wish I had a farm so I could make videos for real. People watch the shit out of farming content. It's crazy. It's cool that they do. But they go to their followers and go, somebody help me. Somebody help me. I can't sell my product because Donald Trump's tariffs. And then they come back later and they go, but I still support him. I know that Donald Trump has a vision for America, and I still support what he's going to do, and I stand by Donald Trump. Then fuck you then. Why are you asking everybody else for money? That doesn't make sense. Why are you making content hoping it gets views so that you can be bailed out by your viewers when you still support Donald Trump? Your viewers don't have the same luxury you do. Look, I would never vote against my own viewers. I never would. Donald Trump gives, like, big content creators tax breaks because they make a lot of money. I'm not a big content creator, baby. But there's not a scenario where I would vote against the livelihood of my own viewers and myself, get myself in a fucking wreck with all that shit, and then get on my platform and say, hey, can you guys help me out? But I still support him. Sorry, poor people, I still support him. Oh, by the way, thanks for sending me money so I could get through. It's fucking absolutely absurd. It has never occurred to me as a truck driver to fucking vote against myself, to harm myself. I don't step out of this truck every morning, slash all 18 tires and say, well, as long as I make it to the next truck stop, everything's gonna be fine, because that's what these farmers are saying. They end up on the news, my friends. They end up on the news, and the news is like, well, do you still support Trump? I do still support Trump, and all we have to do is just make it through this hard time and everything's going to be just fine. You never had to make it through the hard time if Donald Trump himself wouldn't have completely fucked you and your business. You wouldn't be worried about if you're going to make it through the hard time. The hard time would have, farming's hard, all right? I would never get on here and say that you're never going to have a hard time in farming. However, this hard time is completely self-inflicted. Donald Trump did this to you. He did this to you, right? And you, the nerve to say, well, we'll just get through the hard time that never needed to fucking happen. And they do it. They still do it, my friends. They support it and say, hell yeah, he's doing the right thing. We just got to give him time. For what? That's the part everybody always fucking leaves out. Give him time for what? Because, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's some sort of planning that goes into bringing all this manufacturing back to America. You know what it doesn't include? Playing golf. Yeah, if you were really serious about doing your job, if you were really serious about making this whole thing work and was going to happen, you would be in that Oval Office nonstop on the phone, hammering out deals, figuring out what you need to do to get this done. But you play golf the entire time, Donald Trump? I gotta tell you, I got my suspicions you may not be working on any kind of fucking deals. And then this is why I call Trump, MAGA, the laziest political movement in fucking history. Because basically, the farmers, as far as I can tell, are just in it for the bailouts at this point. If you didn't learn the first time, well, I think they did learn the first time. Seriously, I think they learned the first time. They said, hey, Donald Trump's gonna fuck this up so bad that he's gonna have to send us a check so that we can, still eat and still keep the farm. You remember when we didn't have to work that hard because we had no one to sell our product to last time, and Donald Trump sent us money? Kamala Harris cast the deciding vote as far as I remember, but you get the fucking point. The only logical explanation here is that the farmers wanted to take a 4-year vacation and hope that they got bailouts. I heard that there is works right now. There's conversations about farmer bailouts yet again. So I think they did learn the first time, and they learned that they wouldn't have to work too fucking hard because Donald Trump was going to fuck their farm over, and they were hoping that they would get bailouts this time around. Now, I don't think they'll actually get the bailouts, I don't think they will. You know why? Because J.D. Vance is a partial owner of Acre Trader who capitalizes on farmers going fucking broke so that he can trade your money like a stock, or trade your farm like a stock. How about that? And that's why I refer to MAGA a lot as one of the laziest political movements there is. And there's other reasons. Because a lot of what they do is out of hate and out of jealousy for other people and things like that. And out of sheer fucking laziness. And because my friends, By God, if you need the fucking levers of government, if you need a racist, hateful person to be your president, to operate the levers of government so that he can call the people that are outworking you and outsmarting you, so he can call them all kinds of names and vilify them. You know, he can call them DEI workers. He can call them that. He can threaten to mass deport all the cheap farm labor. In more ways, the farmers are fucking themselves, right? Imagine depending on this and voting for it. They wanted the bailouts. That's the only solution I can come up with. But anyways, DEI workers, we're gonna deport them. Referring to people accomplished like Kamala Harris is dumb, right? These are all people that have outworked Donald Trump, that's for damn sure. And a lot of times with MAGA, the people that they're pissed off at are people that have outworked them, that's it, and outsmarted them, and just created a better lives for themselves than they did. So instead of MAGA pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, what happened? Did they tariff your bootstraps? What's going on here? You don't have any? What the fuck is going on? Instead of that good old country grit that we used to have, getting out there and handling your business and trying to do better for yourself, no matter what everyone else is doing, the MAGA movement needed to make excuses for why everybody else was making a better paycheck than them and working harder than them and getting better jobs than them. And they came up with the term DEI hire. And we vilified the whole damn thing. We didn't. I fucking didn't, right? And if anybody's got a different colored skin from you, they didn't work, they're not as smart as you, they didn't work as hard as you, it's just that damn DEI in place that caused this whole damn thing to happen, right? This is why I call it the laziest political movement in fucking history. You're using the government, the party of small government, is using the levers of government to fuck over people that look different than them, or have a different background than them, or speak a different language than them, or any number of things, just so they don't have to feel so shitty about them refusing to put in the fucking work that life takes, because life ain't fucking easy. You got to get out there and work, but they're using the government to do it instead. And some other things I want to talk about, excuse me, about the damn stupidity of MAGA and how they continue to fall for this shit. Because you hear it every day. It's all over goddamn TikTok. It's crazy over there. I don't know. I just see what other people post, if I'm being honest with you. But, you know, you get the people that voted for Donald Trump. The one lady. I voted for Donald Trump because he was going to make IVF free. IVF free just because he gets on the stage and calls himself the IVF godfather for some reason. Doesn't mean he's going to make this shit free. He was lying to you the entire time. Donald Trump has been trying to fuck with women's reproductive rights forever. Why would he care about that? And then she goes, I voted for him because he was going to make my IVF free. Donald Trump doesn't make things free. Donald Trump only makes things cost more for you, broke ass. All of us broke asses out there. That's his plan, right? And then she loses her job because Elon Musk is running amok through the fucking government agencies. She loses her job, doesn't get her free IVF. Her entire world is shattered. And you knew from the first time he was in office that he wasn't going to do the right thing for you. And then the most shocking one. I'm almost done here, my friends. As you can tell, I need a drink. I need some water or something in my life because I'm not doing so well right now. I'm coughing a lot. But you got, everybody was cheering for mass deportations, right? Mass deportations. We're going to round them up and we're going to get them the fuck out of here. How many goddamn stories do we have to see of guys that are married and their wife gets deported? Their wife gets deported. I can think of at least 3 stories off the top of my head. Well, one of them I can think of. The guy, his wife got fucking detained at an airport. That was when, well, ICE is probably still all over the airports, but it was a bigger deal then. We get desensitized, unfortunately, after a while. And then she gets sent off to some detention center in Louisiana. I don't even know what ever happened with her. He lives up north, like Minnesota, somewhere up there, and he's getting interviewed by the news, and yeah, you know, I miss my wife. I didn't think that Donald Trump meant that he was going to do this, which is a shocking thing all by itself. Why did you think Donald Trump wasn't going to do that? That doesn't make any sense. His wife, I don't know the specifics of it. I don't know if she was undocumented or on a work visa. I don't remember. I remember covering it, but she was here and she was working. And for some reason, this man that voted for every vulnerable person to be removed from the country thought it wouldn't be his wife. Does that make any goddamn sense? And then when he's getting interviewed by the news, he goes, well, I still support Donald Trump. And that dude, I mean, I'm not normally the kind to pick on people's appearance, but she was a good-looking woman. She was, and he should have been holding on for dear life instead of sucking the tit of Donald Trump. That's for damn sure. But he still finished it with, I still support Donald Trump. And then there's another one. This guy was down there in Florida, right? His wife gets deported. They raided his fucking house, took her out in fucking handcuffs, sent her to God knows where because there's no due process in this country anymore. Sends her to God knows where. And he's tweeting to Donald Trump, please, sir, please, can we just sit down and have a meeting? I know that if you hear my side of the story, you'll be perfectly willing to bring my wife back. Do you know what Donald Trump's response was to that? He didn't respond. There was no fucking response. So the point of this is, I could be here for 2 hours giving example over example over example of how goddamn dumb every bit of this is. How fucking dumb we are as a country at this point. But the point is that Donald Trump is actively fucking the country. Donald Trump, as of right now, is actively causing Americans to lose their jobs in the ports, the truck drivers. That'll come on down the line here pretty soon. It's probably bigger than that. Mack Trucks had to close up shop because they couldn't keep up with the tariffs. A number of things that are going on right now, and we're just getting started. America's credit rating just got downgraded. The tariffs are still 30%. Walmart is saying they're not going to eat the tariffs. Walmart employees will be laid off en masse if Donald Trump keeps his tariffs up. So Donald Trump is costing the working class their jobs through his little slush fund policy here to put that money who knows where. No one knows. No one really knows where the tariff money goes, do they? Nope. It hasn't done anything to build the infrastructure. He hasn't told us anything about where the money is and how much money America's made and what the plans are, how he's going to go through Congress to work out that budget to bring your precious manufacturing back to America. Now he hasn't done any of that. So over and over, we see Donald Trump proceed to fuck over the American people. We ring the alarm bells and tell the American people how he is fucking us over. The American people get fucked over, get knocked on their ass. And they get up and they say, I still believe in Donald Trump. I still trust that Donald Trump is going to do the right thing. And he never ever does the right thing. And we repeat the process over and over. So forgive me for thinking that maybe we live in a country packed full of some dumb motherfuckers. I gotta get back to work. Love you. Bye now.